Hi friends, what's up turds, nerds, freaks, and geeks, and all that's in between? It's me, your girl, Daisy Dane. Welcome to, or welcome back to my channel. I'm genuinely blessed to have you here. And boy, you sure look swell today. Did you do something new with your hair? This channel is essentially just one creator's little corner of the world. Please remember, it is for entertainment only. I like looking into the strange and the unusual, and it's really not that deep. TikTok literally has people just losing their mind, and I found that really curious. TikTok had creators in tears as they bid farewell to their fellow friends, friends that they would have never met otherwise. They were legit Thanos snapped out of TikTok reality. And this image not only brings me like a slight little chuckle, but yeah, albeit in a cynical nature, I do hurt for those who are worried and scared and genuinely upset. I saw two very strong outcomes of this circumstance of people's responses, and that would include, most creators would comment on the topic one way or another, and I just wanted to throw in my 2 cents. So here we go. You may have noticed I was chill as a cucumber during this ordeal, and there's a reason for that. Also, I want to point out that sometimes I do appear to be emotionally insensitive, but I promise you I'm not. I do feel it. I'm just dealing with it in my own way because that's ADHD. A reason for this, for me being chill as a cucumber, is that I've known for a long time that all the world is a stage, right? And there's nothing, that Uncle Daddy Trump loves more than coming out as the hero. And that seems to be quite natural to him. Like luck just follows him somehow. I don't know if you noticed, but it seems as though Trump is like the biggest accidental hero in history. And he was also seen as the villain at one point as well, and portrayed as magical. Yet there he is, being sworn in once more. I also saw people concerned that his hand wasn't yet on the Bible, but it was the first time, so he kind of was already sworn in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. What are you waiting for? I would love that. And I'm working on a really big video about the whole Simpsons ordeal, so you're going to want to check that out. And yes, this is something that I'm working on as well. I did that. Woohoo! So it all started with TikTok saying it was going dark. It was going to go dark. And I knew that this was definitely more like a publicity stunt because for some reason, whatever it may be, Trump has this magnetism to him that gets him in the good graces of these leaders in other countries. Point is, I knew they weren't leaving. They had parked in their spot and just really need to pay attention to context clues. Plus, Trump and China have been chummy. We all know that the creator of TikTok was at the inauguration, so it definitely seems as though he understands that he must be chummy with them because mutual respect is needed and necessary, especially with China. He will essentially do what he has and what he will do. Just know that one person's view of what's right for America doesn't mean that it's best for all Americans. Doesn't mean that that's how we view it, right? Or that you view it, or that I view it. Have you ever seen The Truman Show or something like that? That some type of inception or transcendence, like these very AI focused futuristic movies. Again, it's like a spell. They're essentially just getting you guys comfortable with these things until you really see it. They're just playing their parts. We know now that it's a show. We know that the highest paid actors are playing their parts, and actors and politicians have blended into one. I mean, consider that. Don't you see how that looks? Like, didn't it start with President Ronald Reagan? I think he said that idea to come in and just have that gent look, to have this swift and kind, gentle heart and a ruling fist. He spoke in ways that no matter what, who, or what you were, you heard him, you knew him, you understood him, loud and clear. This man and JFK, they knew. If they wanted you to hear them, they would speak in a way that they knew you would hear them. Does that make sense? So basically, understand when I say they're not just speaking in code or tongues or whatever it may be now. It's been happening. So why don't you possibly revisit past presidential speeches and keep that in mind, because the entire world will start to look very different, and the image will become clearer and clearer. I knew this was about showmanship. I knew that the leader and maid dude was being at the inauguration, and it's funny, it's madness, it's quirky, it's clever, it's Trump, right? And here's the thing, I'm all about coexisting, but it's not fair to collectively sell out your country, right? It was a company, it was incorporated, it was an institution. They're calling it the Great American Experiment. Did you hear that? Did you hear that word? Experiment. Because they've been willing to experiment on us since the start. And the craziest part is that we are an experiment being experimented on. So we are the goods, right? You have to consider that. We are the goods. We are the product. We are the hardest workers. We are the strongest skilled, the brightest and the most creative. Be grateful. Genuinely, I mean this when I say it. Be grateful that you're not amongst the elites. The royals, they're so void of soul and passion, and all they know is physical intimacy, and that's sad. It's like that's how they talk to one another. Do you want to touch body? No? Grunt. That's so... The energy, the frequency, it's so low. It's so low. And they want to encourage you to be depraved like them. So what do? They try to make the world around you like gamer, depraved, sick, gross. All this horrible things happening all the time. Some advice I would give is to lead with your heart and soul. Seek inward. Do not seek outward. Be like the monk, the one who observes, who knows each move 3 steps ahead, not 2 like Nikocado Avocado. We have 3 steps ahead because that's easier for him, and he's been through it. So why would they not want to take TikTok? I feel like that's an important thing that not many people have talked about as much, and you guys know I just want to add my input when I feel there are valid concerns that others may not have touched on. I'm not just going to sit here and squawk box what everybody else is saying. Like, no thank you. So why not take TikTok? Here we go. Number 1, it keeps you busy and distracted and doom scrolling. Number 2, it provides more jobs at home for humans in the US to do. Number 3, because they outsourced our country. They sold the institution business that was the USA. And now we're just an experiment. Number 4, they don't care. If it keeps you busy, if they know where you are, they don't care. And number 5, they want to know what you're doing. They want to see who you're hanging out with, who you're around. That's the big part of why everybody got so upset with Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, is because it became so intrusive. It was too much, right? Still is, by the way. And the titans of technology showing up for Trump is a show of force. It is a way to say we are united, we stand as one. And Mark Zuck's turnaround and his soft surfer hair, what era is this? What timeline is this? And since when? Hasn't he been against him the whole time? Again, remember, when these people go home, they're all breaking bread together. They're all cuddling, literally, together. Oh, sorry, I made myself sick there. Have you ever seen one of those magazine covers? Celebrities, they're just like us. We are constantly reminded this factor. I know I've been saying it for a while, but many celebrities give you this sob story backstory, and many of them aren't even authentic or true. Take Oprah, for example. I can't help it, I'm sorry. But not just Oprah, y'all. It's also Grimes. Grimes is well off. What is Grimes doing? Yet they portray to be this everyday girl, right? Who just happened to get lucky because her parents are well off and working in biochemistry. And then she was with Elon. Wait a minute. They are cosplaying as someone who has struggled. Shouldn't that be offensive somehow? The fact that Grimes and Poppy have gotten so popular, that alone should tell us it's a vibe, right? It works. So Grimes and Elon, the richest man in the world, now having 3+ kids. I've spoken about that before as well, and his intentions to, how one's intentions may work through someone else, right? Say Mr. Beast and Elon are now friends. Well, one's intentions might become the other's, Just in like Elon and Trump, one's intentions may become another's. So it's curious to see Grimes and how his intentions have cascaded onto Grimes. Okay, Elon's message of this came clear through her recent works, and this is true. She claims that she's original and unique, but it's hypocritical. And she even speaks on it in many interviews that she even challenges communists to use AI to build their utopias and saying that this will work. She believes AI will solve all the problems and have all our answers and weed out systematic injustices.